If I was to tell you that Tammy Abraham and Evan Ferguson had 2 league goals between them to start the season, where would you think we are in the table? I'm pretty certain you wouldn't have given this as the answer. We are top. We are unbeaten after 9 games played, but today, that could all change. Having not lost all season, we are going to be taking on Inter Milan, another unbeaten team in the Champions League with 2 wins in 2 to their name. And then after that, the very small matter of Man City. I really hate playing Man City. But, and it is somewhat impossible to ignore, they are right now at least our big rivals at the top of the league. A win against them, we're 4 points clear at the top. A defeat to them, we drop down to second, and then West Ham, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, and Everton could be chasing us. Yeah, 4 of these top 6 teams make absolutely no sense, I agree. How is it going, folks? Welcome back to Chelsea and welcome back to our early access Let's Play here in FM24. Today, a double header. You might have seen the big angry red number for the bank balance. Yeah, I'm getting deja vu. Anyone else? To be fair, not entirely sure we'll ever get down to the minus £470 million, and I do think Todd Bowley is an underwriter sugar daddy chairman, so we will just put in money to solve this problem. But equally, I don't really like the big red numbers. I don't want to go through the tribulations that was last year all over again. At least off the pitch. On the pitch this season, there's no tribulations to speak of. We have been in some insane form. Since we were last here, 9 games played, 6 in the league, 3 in cup competitions, including the Champions League, where, and I'm going to get ahead of myself here because I'm giddy about it, we beat Man City 2-1. When I saw that in the Champions League, our first game was going to be against Man City, my heart sank. So naturally, when Haaland set up Phil Foden for a dodgy looking goal after 10 minutes, I did fear the worst. But you know what? This year we've been very, very good at getting back up when we get knocked down and grinding out results. And we did that here. Raheem Sterling has 6 league goals in 6 games. Grabbed one in the Champions League here. And not long later, a little bit of fortune here. Ruben Diaz with the own goal. It deflected off him. Raheem Sterling had the effort. Not going to complain. This felt like a big win. And you know what? We'll do things out of chronological order here. The other Champions League game we've played so far is against Porto. A 4-1 win in this one. Victor Roque with his first ever goal in Chelsea colours. Do you want to watch it? I want to watch it again. Arda Güler in this game, by the way, man of the match. 1 goal, 3 assists. The first of those assists was for this goal here. Was it the flashiest goal? No. But for a player who at 19 years old, I feel like there's a lot of weight of expectation on, it was nice to see him find the back of the net. So now it was the Champions League games. Over in the EFL Cup, we beat our affiliates. They're not actually our affiliates, but all our players are on loan at them. Ipswich Town, 4-2 win here. Rotated the team, of course. Ipswich Town have a fair few of our players. Right now, they are sitting 8th in the Championship. And if we look at their players, Casadei, Fofana, Lewis Hall, 3 players that we've loaned to them, they're all basically major first-team players for them. So at the moment, we're trying to help Ipswich get back to the Premier League. And speaking of the Premier League, if I just hide all the other competitions, we can focus on league games since you were last here, of course. We ended things with a draw against Wolves. From there, some really good results. First and foremost, 1-0 against Bristol City. After that, 6-0 against Newcastle. We have this exact same result in the last game of last season, didn't we? It's happened all over again. Mourinho having nightmares after this one. Ivan Toney booked for them. They had 1 shot on target, and it was an incredible team display that saw Ansu Fati really be a standout. And speaking of standouts, I mean, look at him. Look at the development. Look at the green arrows, the training rate, and the average rating. It's all coming up Millhouse. One result that was significantly less Millhouse was this result here. 2-2 against Fulham. We scored in the 85th minute to make it 2-1. I thought we'd stolen the win. They scored through Struijk in the 95th minute to get an equaliser. I was fuming. There have been some tricky games in this opening to the season, one of which was away against Arsenal. This result here did feel like a significant one. Arsenal had been a little bit slow to get starting in the season. We made the most of some set pieces. The first was a goal from a throw-in. The second, a corner that was not fully cleared away. Arsenal, you won't be surprised to learn this, their goal in the second half was a corner as well. There were set pieces everywhere, and there was a moment of magic for this. The third goal, Reece James, Ansu Fati, options in the middle, Raheem Sterling chesting it in, made it 3-1. Most recently, we beat Leicester, who, of course, newly promoted 4-0. Great result there. Caicedo, Havertz, Sterling, Ferguson with the goals. Ferguson, first league goal in that one. Yeah, finally. And then most recently, we managed to beat Manchester United. The first goal, another goal that came from a set piece not cleared away. Although, let's not use that to discredit that finish by Nkunku. It was tasty. And not long later, Mudryk would score a goal that, well, is going to be played on repeat. Finessed into the top corner. 2-0 result against Old Trafford. Things you love to see. So looking at the league table, we have a plus 20 goal difference after 9 games. If we look at goal scorers, you can see here Raheem Sterling has 6 goals. Ansu Fati slightly further down the list on 4. My only concern right now is that our actual strikers aren't the men getting the goals. In fact, you can see here, sorting by goal scorers, it's Raheem Sterling, Fati and Nkunku leading the way. And you might be forgiven for thinking, well, Jack, have you tried changing the striker role? Of course I blooming have. We have been playing Ferguson as a complete forward as of late. We did try him in that target forward role that we played Giroud in last year. I'm hoping that it's just a case of once the strikers get a couple of goals, get their chins up, their tails up in the air, things will be fine. Whether or not that's going to happen remains to be seen. So for game number 1 today, we are going to be taking on an Inter Milan team chilling out in Serie A. Last year, they won the Italian top flight. This year, they've been a little bit slow to get going, but some good form as of late. Have beaten Leipzig and Juventus. They are going to be a tough team to displace. Lautaro Martinez, their key man. Always a scary striker in Football Manager. I have rested up the players between games because we did only play Manchester United a few days ago. This is the starting 11 that we are going to be going with. You might notice Enzo Fernandez has dropped back down to the bench and Nkunku has been too good to drop. And whilst there is a temptation perhaps to play him at striker and then shuffle around the midfield, I really feel like I've got to make Ferguson work. I feel like I've got to show him some patience. He is developing off the pitch. I just need him to start performing on it. Arda Güler can feel hard done by not to start this game as well. He's going to be on the bench. If we need a moment of magic, he's the man I'm bringing on, the magician. That's what I've started calling him in my head. I don't know. I think he'd look good in a top hat. Now, of course, with the expanded Champions League format, whoever wins this game here to make it 3 wins out of 3 is in a pretty prime position to make it to the knockouts without too much drama. I would love to be the team in that position. It is going to be tough here. They're playing a free-at-the-back system, and given our inability to score with strikers, that does concern me. I don't know how I feel about the fact Inter Milan are in orange. Inter Milan in orange, it just doesn't feel right. I don't know why. I know it's their away kit. I'm fully aware it's a real thing. I feel uncomfortable. Also, Fati should have hit the target there. That could have been a really good chance for a goal. Denzel Dumfries on the near side, going to throw it down the line. Raheem Sterling can get there, and Mason Mount is going to mop up the pieces. Chilwell has a knock. That might be a cause for concern for us. Colwell is probably the man on the bench who we could bring on. Reece James tucking inside is going to dink it wide to Fati. Can he keep it alive? Of course he can. He lays it to Mason Mount. Ferguson's there. He's blooming scored. I'm tearing up. I'm so happy right now. And also, there is still the bug in Football Manager this year. I assume it's a bug and not intentional, where for the replays in European games, the camera gets flipped to the other side. Unless you're going to tell me there's some really good reason for it, I don't know why it happens, but we can enjoy that goal from another angle, I suppose. Halfway through this first half, not going to say it's been a classic. It really hasn't been. I am keeping Chilwell on for now just because I feel like if I take him off, we are going to be weaker. But with him and other players, I've got to be conscious. We've got Manchester City in the league in a few days' time. It's a massive game for us. If we could get another goal here, maybe I could look to make some subs earlier in the second half. That, by the way, as I was waffling on, good chance, and Nkunku did hit the post. DeMarco on the far side. DeMarco is a bit of a set-piece demon, if I'm not mistaken, in Football Manager. He's the kind of guy we need to be fearful of today. Lucas Perry in goal is going to be the man to distribute this out from the back. So far in goal for us, don't want to say it too loudly, he's done very well. I think he's on a 7.2 rating for his last 5 games, which is, for a goalkeeper in Football Manager, incredible. He set up this attack. Can we see something happen at the end of it? And Nkunku to the on-rushing Ben Chilwell. Is he going to go down the line? No, he's going to try and put a cross in, somewhat disappointingly, but keeps it alive with James. Mount, Ferguson, he's already scored one. He could turn provider here. Chilwell and Nkunku. Oh my word, it's the Frenchman's 4th goal of the season. That was delightful. Love the build-up play here. Reece James and also Mason Mount just linking up nicely. Ferguson holding up the play, laid it wide. Loads of gaps in the middle. That through ball, delicious. And Onana, what's his name? I don't know. He can't save that shot though. That was every bit as cringe as I thought it'd be in my head as I said that line. I'll avoid doing that kind of pun in the second half. I'm sorry. Okay, half-time in this game. They've not had a shot on target. We are showing the form that has seen us just be catapulted to the top of the Premier League. We have played absolutely sensationally. If I'm going to be hypercritical, Raheem Sterling, who's been really good for us this year, hasn't showed up in that first half. Chilwell does still have his injury. I'm going to bring in Colwill. I think at the same time, I'm going to bring in Mudryk for Sterling. It's definitely a downgrade for us, but part of me's thinking, if Raheem Sterling isn't playing well and turning up today, let's make sure he's good to go in the Man City game at the weekend. Colwill fresh off the bench, throwing it down to Mudryk, of course. 2 fresh legs on the left-hand side. Really, I should focus all the play down there and see what happens. Ferguson with the ball again. On this occasion, he is going to be dispossessed. And now it's João Felix, of course, former Chelsea man, did have the option to sign him when we first arrived. We decided not to do that. Atleti had him last year. Now he's ended up at Inter Milan. I'm sure he would love to inflict some revenge upon us, as Onana is going to distribute it out from the back. For a moment, I wondered if Ferguson might be able to cause some issues pressing from the front. Dumfries inside to Lautaro Martinez. Plenty of players being committed to this attack, but Nkunku's going to win it in a good little area. Now with Mudryk, he could carry the ball, or he could lay it inside. Reece James is going on a wander. He's going all on his lonesome, and that is the least convincing save I've seen in Football Manager this year so far. Colwill over the corner. We've not really got a good left-footed set-piece taker on the pitch right now. You know what? I'm gonna change things when it comes to that. And Nkunku, I'm saving your legs now. I'm bringing in Arda Güler, the left-footed set-piece wizard himself. Come on down. So I have made those changes, but the subs haven't happened yet because the ball's not yet gone out of play. We've got it in an okay area here. Plenty of players committed to the attack. Casado inside. Reece James pulls the trigger. Should have done better. Okay, minor issue. Mason Mount injured. We'll bring on Enzo Fernandez and drop him into the deep line playmaker role. I think for Casado here, given where we are in this game, we'll just tell him to defend as well and tell Reece James just to chill a little bit just as a regular wing back. I have still got one more sub if I want to use it, but there's still half an hour left here. In case there's another injury, I'm going to hold on to it, I think. I'm just happy to see Evan Ferguson doing well up front. I feel like you've been spared the breakdowns I had earlier on in the year where he wasn't really performing. He got that goal against Leicester, didn't show up against Manchester United, but he's got another goal here. I feel like so much of kind of goal scoring in Football Manager just comes down to form. Sometimes you have a player with awful attributes who just goes on a crazy run of form, and equally, sometimes you have some great players and it just feels like they can't do anything with it. Speaking of which, I was going to hope that Lautaro Martinez couldn't do anything with it. He has done something with it. He's found the back of the net. I feel like I probably should be panicking more here. There's 10 minutes left. They've just made it 2-1, and I'm sat here remarkably chillaxed. Yeah, Luca Perry's not done amazing there. There is 5 minutes left in this game. I thought at some point Inter Milan would neglect the 3 at the back system. Nope, they're sticking with it. They're being little rats. It's like I'm playing FIFA Ultimate Team. They're playing a 5 at the back. Gerson's on the near side is going to whip it in. It's headed into the back of the net. The flag is raised by the assistant. I hope the assistant knows what he's talking about, because I'm going to be fuming if they've scored here. I actually have a sneaking suspicion that João Felix wasn't the man offside, but the other player interfered sufficiently. The goal is going to be ruled out. I wouldn't mind seeing a replay of this, because I don't think it was... I could be wrong. I don't think Felix was offside here. In fact, I tell a lie. They were both offside. All right, you know what? A couple of minutes left. Let's just lower the tempo and time waste. Let's just see this game out. Narrator, they did not see this game out. Or maybe they did. Look, it's not over yet. Colwill has decided to gift them the ball, which we don't really like to say. It's Inter Milan on the attack. We're into 6 minutes of added time, by the way. The ball's whipped in. Joe Gomez half clears it away. It's shot. It's deflected. It's hit the crossbar. What's happening? We're fine. Everything's fine. 2 minutes left here. 1 minute left here. I'm holding my breath. I don't need to anymore. We win this game 2-1. Yeah, not thrilled about how that's gone, but a win's a win. My big concern now is, how is Mason? Is Mason okay? Please tell me Mason is going to be okay. He's out for 6 to 7 weeks. How's Ben? Is Ben okay? Okay, well, that's 2 of our starters out for the Man City game coming up. So Mason Mount's out injured. I hate to admit this is probably going to be Enzo Fernandez's time to shine. If there was a time for him to instate himself into the first team, it's filling the boots of Mason Mount for the next 2 months. The first of those games where he's going to have that task might be the most challenging. At home against Man City, 4 days till that game. I'm going to rest up the players. We're going to try and keep our unbeaten start to the season going. It's going to be difficult. Let's see if we can get another one over on Pep, though. You might remember Kai Havertz causing some issues last episode. I was getting quite grumpy with Kai, and I looked at his value and I thought, if I can cash in on him, it'd be nice. I've just had a bid from Real Madrid of £52 million, and I hate to admit it, I think I'm going to take it, although, should I ask for a percentage of sell-on? I guess I can ask for a percentage of sell-on. 20%. They've locked in 57 million. I'm taking the bag and running 57 million. We keep him till January. He's not really been playing for us. He's made one start in the Premier League and no starts in the Champions League. You know what? I'm fine with that. Last year, he was useful for us, but certainly not indispensable and certainly not worth 57 million. You know what? Fair enough, Real. You do you. I can't believe how simple this has been. We've not even got to the Manchester City game. He's already agreed terms with Real Madrid. It's like he already knew he wanted to leave. I really thought we were going to have a blossoming friendship, but after last episode, he just upset me too much. That sale does now put some money in the transfer budget. Gonna have a think about what I might do with that. But perhaps for now, I have more pressing matters. Man City at home. Now, we actually have a really good record against Man City in this save game. We've not lost to them yet. I've not got pizza today, though. That could hold us back. And also, the normal starting 11 that I'd perhaps want to play here, I can't play here. Cucurella coming back from injury as well. I forgot about that. In that case, Colwell is going to have to be on the bench. Can Chilwell play? He could play. Apparently, a fitness test is not required. I'm not going to risk him with that fitness. Have also got the issue of Mason Mount. I'm looking at players' form in the last few games. Raheem Sterling's not been amazing, and I just feel like I need to get Arda Güler into the starting 11 today. So I'm going to move Nkunku out wide. Arda Güler's going to come in, and I'm hoping he is just going to be the creative spark in this team. Here's the team that we're going to go with. I don't think there's anything too controversial here besides the Colwell inclusion, perhaps the Güler and Enzo Fernandez inclusion. We've got some great options on the bench to change this game if we need to, but at home, I want to back us here. I'm probably deluded. I think I might be about to have a reality check. Okay, I mean, we've won our last 5 games in a row. We are the in-form team right now. I'd love to keep that form going. I'd love to extend our lead at the top. Man City, in their previous game, played one day after us in the Champions League. So they've had a day's less rest. I'm going to hope that we can capitalise on that. We're currently 15 minutes into this game. We're struggling to have the ball, but we have had more of the shots so far in the first half of this first half. They aren't playing this 4-3-3 without a centre attack in mid. Obviously, De Bruyne and Varela will move forward, but I do feel like for Fernandez as the deep line playmaker, he should be getting a fair amount of time and space to operate in and kind of act as a quarterback for us. You know, not that I'm necessarily expecting that from him based off previous performances, but if there was a game for him to really shine, I feel like this is a game he could do that in. Rafinha's got the ball on the near side here. He's giving it away in an awful area. Ansu Fati's bringing it forward. He pulls it to Evan Ferguson, who has 2 goals for the episode. £85 million, well spent. Never questioned my judgment. I mean, this is all on Rafinha, isn't it, really? If we're, you know, that is poor. I mean, he's passed it to Fati. Probably thought they were still teammates. He's laid it to his former Barcelona teammate. Fati's laid it inside. Ferguson still had a difficult finish there. He made no mistakes. Okay, 5 minutes left of the half. Man City playing out from the back. We've already caught them out once as they play it out from the back. I would love to do it again here. Rodrigo to Varela. Now wide with Bernardo Silva. He's going to cut inside. Fantastic tackle by Enzo Fernandez, who's now going to lay it back to Fofana. And now it's with Arda Güler, who plays it to Nkunku. He's stolen it off Lewis. Can he find an end product? It's a difficult angle. And sadly, you can only find the side netting. And that chance there concludes a rather odd first half. Man City had 1 shot inside the first 5 minutes and did nothing after that point. We look sensational despite our lack of the ball. I suppose my only concern here is that we've not made enough of our advantage. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from happy. I could praise the players here, but they'll all get complacent. If you've played Football Manager, if you're only winning by 1 goal, doesn't matter who you played, just shout at the players, it works. That's what I've done here. Not going to make any changes yet. I am looking at Nkunku just thinking, I could change you. I could do something here. I'm going to do something here. Raheem Sterling, on you come. Casado's not the best of games either. I'm going to bring in Conor Gallagher in that area of the pitch. A player's not played a great deal for us, but we do need to make some changes. And I've made 2 changes, and now Arda Güler's got injured. In fact, only one of the subs I just made happened because of when the injury occurred. How bad is it? Foot injury. Nobody like that. And Nkunku, you can go into the middle. Definitely wasn't about to sub you off. Raheem Sterling, come on the left-hand side. I'll tell you what, we're already without Mount for 2 months. Arda Güler, you might think of him more as a fringe player. If he was to get a long-term injury as well, it'd be so disappointing. I mean, I want to win this game. I'm half distracted by what else is going on. Oh my, they've given us another goal. Thank you, Man City. Thank you, Pep. You're very kind. The quickness of this highlight caught me off here. Lewis throws it inside, and Nkunku steals it away and then gives it to Fati, who just pulls the trigger. I thought for a moment Ferguson might be offside. He wasn't offside. It counts. It's 2-0. Colwell over this free kick in the wide area. Left-footed cross. Goes over everyone, but Reece James does keep it alive. for now. Goretzka, of all players, in Man City colours battling away for it. Gallagher pulls the trigger. Oh my word. That only whistled narrowly wide. 10 minutes left of this game. Look at the sea of green ratings. It has been a top quality performance by us thus far. I'd love to keep hold of a clean sheet. I don't really want a repeat of what happened against Inter, where we have a 2-goal lead and we just give it up. We're in danger of doing so there. Goretzka had a half chance. It was blocked wide. Reece James bounding down the far side, lays it inside to Ansu Fati, who is looking for Gallagher. Enzo Fernandez dinks it. Fati. Ferguson. Oh my word. Is that onside? Is that going to count? VAR's going to check here. The linesman's not raised his flag. He doesn't think it's off. I'm scared to celebrate, but I wouldn't think it was onside. Is it onside? It is onside. I didn't even get the pop-up. Gallagher to Enzo. The ball hit by Enzo, superb. Ansu Fati crosses it, and Ferguson was not going to miss from there. I mean, we're 3-0 up against Man City. We're about to go 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League. I don't want to get carried away. Everything's going far too well at the moment. Ansu Fati, man of the match. Superb from him. He was actually involved in every single goal in that game. 2 assists, 1 goal. Couldn't ask for more. And as I already mentioned, with that result there, 4 points clear of Man City, 7 points clear of Aston Villa, and I kind of already alluded to it. The Premier League is a little bit of a mess. You've got Liverpool, Newcastle, Manchester United, Arsenal and Tottenham from 7th to 11th. Yeah, it's scrappy behind us. Some seasons in the Premier League, right, you need 100 points to win it in Football Manager, and there are other seasons where just all the big teams seem to slip up and struggle. That feels like it's what's happening here. Okay, Arda Güler, injury, 3 to 4 weeks. We'll send him to the physio. That sucks. I've seen lots of people complain about injuries in the beta, and you might have noticed just looking at our players' kind of appearances here, I have been rotating the squad so heavily and using the entire team to minimise the risk of injuries. We've picked up 2 in 2 games here. I'm hoping that's not a sign of things to come, because we don't have the deepest squad in the world. I can't quite believe I'm saying this. We are unbeaten still for this season, in spite of the fact we've just played Inter Milan and Manchester City. Some amazing results today. Evan Ferguson with 3 goals in 2 games. It's things we love to see. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's episode. As always, if you have, make sure to drop a like on things. We are back tomorrow with more action here from Chelsea. Until then, it is me, Jack. I'll see you all again in a bit. I'm out.